All right, we're here with two legendary men, Congressman Byron Donalds and Wesley Hunt. We are honored to be here with you guys. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you guys. So we've done some videos on you guys. We're very like-minded people. You know, we agree with a lot of things you say. We love you guys. So we're excited to be here. So my first question is, what got you guys into politics? Like, did you always have a passion for it, or what got you into it?
Yeah. Thought about doing it for a while when I was a kid growing up. Assumed a lot of leadership roles, class president, things like that, captain of the football team, basketball team, and always had an affinity to want to get into service. I come from a military family, so my whole family served in the military. Brother, sister, and I all served. My dad served. So we had a rule in our house, and that is you find a way to serve this country to give back in some capacity to defend freedom for the next generation. And so we all served, deployed multiple times, got back, got done, but that doesn't mean our service is over. And so we continued our service. This, for me, is continued service to honor the mandate that my parents put on me. Now, I thought I would be doing it in 10 years from now, when I was a little bit older, in my 50s, 60s, go work, make some money. An opportunity opened up in Houston, ran once, lost, just like Byron, and then came back again stronger, better, was able to get into a newly drawn district in Texas the following cycle, and here I am. So it's a blessing. God's been very good to me in putting us in this position. But I think Byron and I can speak to the times that we live in right now, where the country is right now. This is why we're here in Atlanta right now to talk about how to get our country back. And this is all about service, and it's all about figuring out a way to leave this place better than we found it.
Wow.
Yeah, I got into politics really back in 2010. But before that, I was apolitical. I didn't care about politics. All I cared about was sports, my kids, my career. Never got into any of that. And so what happened was, when the economy was collapsing back in 2008, the insurance company I was working for, our clients were international. And I had worked in banking before I moved to insurance. And so the bosses came to me and said, we need you to research what's happening in the economy so we can go back to our investors who are overseas and tell them to keep the investment, because that was keeping the company afloat. So through the research of figuring out what was going on in the economy, I turned on House Financial Services Committee in Congress to see what was Congress doing. And when I turned it on, I'm listening to members of Congress talk about the economy. I was like, who are these people? They don't even know what they're talking about. Yeah. Like, that's not what's happening out here in the world. And so that's how I got the bug. I started really reading. Started watching cable news. Cable news didn't really make much sense. Everything was surface level. Everything was talking points. Started reading books on political philosophy. I've read Frederick Bastiat. I've read John Locke. I've read Montesquieu. Started really understanding just the political thought, not modern politics. And then once going through all that, realized I was conservative, and then I started getting involved in the local Tea Party movement, and I just got involved and kept moving. When I ran in 2012 the first time, I just got the bug, man. Like, I was like, I could do this. Yeah. When I went through a campaign, sitting on the stage with other people running for office, debating them, and then I'm sitting there doing the debates. I'm like, I know more than this dude. I know more than that guy. And then people just started rallying around me, and I got the bug, and I just stayed with it. Here I am.
Wow. Amazing.
Okay, well, let's get into the meat and potatoes, man. So my first question is something that we argue about. We live together in our YouTube channel, and we go upstairs in the game room and do the reactions and stuff like that to politic things. So we got into this argument about the school system. And I was basically saying that if we made school harder for low income areas, that more kids will drop out. And that might affect the society, as in crime rates, and they'll be running around basically like the immigrants are running around right now. I went to a bunch of different schools. I've been to predominantly white schools. I've been to predominantly black schools. And I seen a difference in the education and how everything's structured inside the school. I went to, for instance, going to the white school in the Woodlands, Texas, and just the way everything was structured when we went to class, from being not late to class to the homework assignments that we had after school, it was very difficult coming from a predominantly black area. So it was very overwhelming, I would say. So I was crying to my mom, "Give me out these AP classes. They were too hard, playing sports and stuff like that." And then I moved from that area and went to back to a predominantly black area, and school was easy. They told me, "Come to class, you get an A." I never seen that in my life. We didn't have to do homework. They said, "Come to class, you get an A." So I was thinking, like, if these kids already don't want to go to school, because I know most of those kids, being honest, they didn't want to go to school. If these kids already don't want to go to school, and we put harder systems in place at the school, these kids will drop out, I feel like. So I was saying, like I guess that school choice, I guess kind of like, if these kids don't want to go inside the school because it's hard, they'll drop out. So, like, what do y'all think, like, we should do? Because some people say, let's make the school harder for those kids that have that are in a poverty area. Let's make the school harder for them, and you know, our culture would basically be better as black men by making school harder. Like, what do y'all think about that?
Well, look, first thing I'm gonna say is, whatever gets measured is what matters. So I think that academic attainment doesn't just start in high school.
Yeah.
That starts in elementary school.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, the ability for young kids to read at high levels early on sets their trajectory for everything when it comes
Definitely.
to school. So I think that the number one thing is, what are we doing with children in kindergarten, in first grade,
Yeah.
in second grade? Do they have the building blocks, knowing how to read phonetically? Do they have strong math skills early on? Because if you have strong math skills early,
Yeah.
then you'll build them continuously. Are young kids reading enough in elementary school so that when you have to read in middle school and high school, it's natural. It's like swinging a baseball bat. It's like shooting a free throw. All that starts very, very early. It's no different than athletics if you really take the time
Yeah.
to think about it. I think that you got to have high standards, because what happens is, high school, not really, but college. Yeah, bring that over here. College is a weeding out process.
Yeah.
All they want to do in college is basically say who can cut it and who can't.
Yeah.
And once they figure that out, then you essentially go to the wayside, and every kid that just pushed through the hard parts, they're the ones that are going to reap that rewards. Now, I think overall, if you're going to talk school choice, I used to be all charter schools all the time.
Okay.
I'm not anymore.
Okay.
I'm agnostic to the type of school. I think what you got to have is give parents purchasing power to pick the school that suits their child's needs and interests.
Okay.
So if it's charter, cool. If it's religious, fine. If it's parochial, okay. If it's traditional public school, great. If it's homeschool, fine. If you get to 7th, 8th grade and you realize that your child, and we all know the strengths of our children. I got 3 sons. I know their strengths. I know their weaknesses. If you start to see around 7th, 8th, 9th grade that maybe this child is not one leaning towards higher learning, college, then let's move them down the trade route. What about them learning welding, carpentry? What about them learning how to become a contractor, plumbing, HVAC, auto technicians? There's so many career fields that are out there where you don't need a college degree, but you just got to focus down that line. That could be your passion.
Okay.
I think a lot of times the biggest thing, I'm going to stop here. The biggest thing that we got to do in education overall is help young kids identify their strengths in life.
Okay.
We spend so much time in education, and really when kids are young, about trying to build your weaknesses up. But then you become an adult, and we don't build our weaknesses up. We focus on what we're good at.
Yeah.
And then we grind and we go do that. We got to help kids understand what their strengths are in middle school, in high school, and then help them follow that strength path. They'll be a lot more productive. They'll be a lot happier about what's going on in their personal lives. And I think that's the real pathway to success.
Okay.
There's not one pathway.
Yeah.
There's many pathways.
I agree with that.
You want to say on that?
Yeah, and I think, and also, I just like I said earlier, I don't think we should be in the business of accepting mediocrity either. I think Byron's hitting the nail on the head. We want to challenge people, but we also want people to know what excellence is. We want people to know what excellence looks like. And so just to pass somebody, just to placate them because we're fearful for what they might be in the future, I don't think we're doing them any favors at that point. Now, Byron's argument is a very good one. Everybody has a talent, and everybody's good at something. Mm-hmm. How do we identify that and then allow young people to compete in what they are good at?
Okay.
I am a product of school choice. My parents drove 1 hour one way every single day to send me to a private school.
Wow.
And by the way, it was tough. It was difficult. But you find me, the kid, with perfect attendance, who's from the hood, with perfect attendance, maybe not even be the best student, but they try. They want to put in the effort. They just need a better environment. And if they are willing to make that drive, if their parents are willing to make that struggle, then you know what? We got to meet them halfway. That's where Condoleezza Rice was talking about yesterday, when she was talking about school choice, where, look, rich white folks, they do have school choice. You know why? They choose to live in neighborhoods that have good schools.
Yeah.
That's their choice to do so. And then, by the way, if they don't like those public schools, then what do? They'll send them to a private school. That is school choice. How do we have more parity, though, for those people that don't have those kinds of resources? And by the way, life ain't fair. Life ain't easy. I don't want to give anybody anything, but you show me a young family, you show me a kid that may be underpoverished, that's willing to drive 1 hour one way to go to public school and compete. How do we offer those kinds of opportunities? And then you couple that with what Byron just said about technical schools and realize that everybody ain't going to go to college. That's not how this works anymore. And by the way, I'm looking at a lot of people that didn't go to college that are mechanics. You want to talk about HVAC. I mean, I'm wondering why the hell am I a congressman, man? I mean, they're the ones with boats. I ain't got a boat.
Yeah.
They figured it out their own way without going to college. So how do we marry that with their strengths?
I like that. I like that.
Yeah. So
I agree with what they said. I'm on their side with you got to challenge people. If you make it too easy for students who actually could do good if they were challenged, then I just feel like you're selling them short, because a lot of the kids who are smart enough to do good, they're just not being held to a standard that other kids are.
But the kids that don't want to reach that standard, so we're just gonna let them.
Hey man,
just drop out.
No. I hate saying this, but it's the God's honest truth. You can't save everybody.
You can't.
This is a meritocracy. This is you. A lot of people. I don't want to hear pull yourself up by the bootstraps. You got to have effort. You got to have drive. You got to want to do something. Everybody doesn't want to do anything.
Yeah,
that's true.
And that's unfortunate, but that's the God's honest truth.
That's true.
We have to spend our time trying to figure out how do we help the people and help the young people that do want to do something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not flatline it.
Yeah.
Look, the only thing I'm gonna add to that is, and let's take education out. Let's get to sports. Not everybody makes the basketball team.
Not everybody plays football.
Not everybody makes the
even
football
though they're 6'4", 270 pounds.
You know what? Go somewhere with that, Wesley. My mom. Hey, time out. We were having this conversation earlier.
I gotta talk to your mom.
My mom didn't want to sign the permission slip, man. What you want me to do? You want me to forge your signature and go play football?
Yes.
Man, stop. I got a black mama.
She should have been retired.
My mama's black. You better stop. You better stop.
So is
anyway,
mine.
moving on.
Facts.
Yeah.
Back to what I was talking about.
Facts.
Not everybody makes the sport team. And even if you make the team, that doesn't mean you play.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a standard.
Yeah.
And in coaching, there is a standard. If you don't shoot 40% from the three, you know what your basketball coach tells you? Stop shooting threes.
Yeah,
You're not Steph Curry.
That's true.
What are you doing? If you can't make free throws, if there's a technical foul, you ain't going to the line.
Yeah.
There's a standard that you got to meet in life, especially in academics. I think that there are kids where academics is not their thing.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean that their mind doesn't have the ability to do academic work. That doesn't mean that their mind doesn't have a genius about them. It just might not be in the classroom.
Correct.
Yeah.
Their genius could be other places. And I think that goes back to finding the strengths of young people to find where their genius is.
Okay.
Listen, put somebody in the environment where they're doing the thing that they love. They are a genius. Like, I'm not a car guy.
Facts.
When that hood goes up, I'm looking at that thing like this. What's all this do?
Facts.
Did you change the oil? Cool.
You know what a battery. You know what a battery is, all right?
Man, stop. I know where a battery is, dude. I can change a battery now. We're not taking apart engines. We're not doing that.
That's my boy, dude.
I have intelligence. I just don't have car genius.
Me neither, bro.
And that's
me neither.
cool.
Yeah. Me neither.
And I think we got to start looking at the worst thing we've done in America is we try to pigeonhole every child to say you have to go through K through 12 to get to college to be a success.
Yeah.
We have pigeonholed more people and put more people in a bad spot. So then you got Joe Biden coming out saying, oh, well, if he could finish his damn sentence, I'm going to forgive student loans. But the truth is, people took out loans for degrees. A, they shouldn't have been majoring in. B, that may not be their genius, but they were told that's the only way to be successful. We got to stop that.
Yeah. And that segues into my next question. So clearly you guys are very successful. You know, you're very headstrong on things, just strong men. And I feel like in the black community, there's a very contagious attitude of victim mentality. And I recently just got back from Cameroon, Africa for a track meet, and that completely just changed my perspective on life. Like seeing how people there live and seeing like that a lot of those kids there, really their chances are just a lot less than the people here. So how do we fix that negative mindset in the black community here and get more people, you know, on the route like you guys were on?
Because they really not in the ghetto. How they think they in the ghetto?
Yeah, they might have it rough, but after what I saw, I will never complain about anything again. Like we're looking at kids, like they saw that I had AirPods and they're jumping up and down because they've never seen AirPods in their life. And like I got them some ice cream and they're like hugging me, happy just to have some ice cream. It's like it broke my heart honestly because it's like I've never seen like people down bad like that. So I'm like, wow, like, and then what they would do to come to America and just have a chance just to go, like you said, have a trade job or just have a chance at success. Like, why is the mentality of, oh, the white man's holding me down. Oh, the white man this, the white man that. When we got two congressmen sitting right here who are the same color as us.
It's a mentality. Have you seen first-generation Nigerians and first-generation Ghanaians in America?
Exactly.
They don't have that mentality, though.
Yeah.
They come to this country and they do very well.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because they haven't been growing up in a system that told them that they were second-class citizens and that they can't be anybody.
Right.
That used to be the case in this country 40, 50 years ago, but it's not anymore. This is the land of opportunity. We have got to stop telling our young people, stop telling our young black kids that they are second-class citizens because of the white man. It's over. It's over. Jim Crow, we're going to talk about that later. Jim Crow is over. My dad grew up during the Jim Crow era. My mom had to go to HBCUs, but I didn't. And it was that progress that got us here today. So people need to stop listening a lot of times to the mom and the grandmother and the grandfather. They say, well, you know, that's the white man's fault, that's this. We live in 2024 right now. No one's stopping you from doing anything. Hard work, grit, determination, we could all get here. Byron and I have diametrically opposed backgrounds. Couldn't be more different. But we both grew up black men in America, and we both ended up in the halls of Congress, one of 435 people. How is that? We are not victims. Regardless of what part of the country you come from, what your background is, single parent, two parent, look, there ain't no excuses. Life is hard for everyone. It's hard for everybody. Stop looking at, stop having a competition between, well, my life's harder than somebody else's, therefore I can't. That's not true. Because so many people come to this country as first-generation Americans, and they do exceedingly well because they never accepted being a victim.
Amen.
And that's what we have to stop preaching to our young people.
Amen.
The only thing I'm going to add to, Wesley's absolutely right. What I'll add to it is, if you're constantly told you're thirsty, you're going to go to a well looking for water. And what's happened also is you have a lot of leaders in our country who are constantly telling black people that they're thirsty.
Yeah.
Not understanding that they have a faucet in their own house.
That was very well said.
The water's right there. But they're running around, they'll be on TV, they'll do interviews, they'll come into the black community, go give speeches, they'll go into black churches and say, it's never been so bad, but if you support me, it'll be better tomorrow. No, that's a lie. It was very, very bad. Wesley's right, talking about the era his parents came up in, the era my mom, my dad came up in. Way tougher. Look, the Celtics just won the championship, right? And, I'm a Laker fan. Shout out to the Celtics. Banner number 18. I'm going to leave it alone for now. Jason Tatum about to get $315 million from the Boston Celtics. Has anybody asked, now Bill Russell, God rest his soul, have they gone through the lineage of what Bill Russell went through when he played for the Boston Celtics?
Yeah.
Are you going to tell me today that Jason Tatum's experience and Bill Russell's experience is the same in the same city for the same franchise? It's not.
Yeah.
I'm not saying America's perfect. I'll never say that, because our history as a country is a dark history.
Like every country. Every civilized country.
Our people were persecuted in this country. Full stop.
Period.
That's the truth. But don't sit here and tell me that a black kid growing up today is the same as a black kid growing up in 1950 America.
Yeah.
No.
It's not even the same thing.
No.
And you need to stop. It's not even the same. Look, I did a town hall meeting when I was in the State House like 6 years ago. And there was a young kid, he was 21 at the time. came to my event, and he stood up and he asked me a question. He goes, with everything that's going on, I just don't know how I can get ahead in America.
With everything that's going on.
I looked at the
Byron.
kid. I looked at the kid. Hold on, Wesley. I looked at the kid. I swear. I looked at the kid, and I'm like, Tom. I looked at my hands. I said, young brother, I'm 39 years old, 40 years old, however old I was at the time. I'm a state representative. I didn't grow up in Naples. You live in Naples, Florida, which is a meritocracy if there ever was a meritocracy in America. This is where you grew up. I'm from the inner city of Brooklyn, New York. You got it way better than I had. And we're only separated by 20 years. My sons stand on my shoulders. Just like I stand on my mother's shoulders. Just like Wesley stands on the shoulders of his parents.
Correct.
Nothing's perfect. Nothing is fair. But today in America, I can't remember another time where it was better for a young black man to be growing up in a society.
What is the best time to be black in America?
Right now?
Right
Right
now.
now.
Right
I
now.
agree with that completely.
Jason Tatum's getting $315 million.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Jay-Z's a mogul.
I don't want to hear it.
Like, there's never been a better time.
Oprah been a billionaire.
Yeah.
Been.
And it's crazy how you said the first generation Ghanaians and Nigerians, because I'm a first generation Ghanaian. My dad was born in Ghana. My grandpa
What did he
brought
tell
me
you?
here. Oh. I just never I never even heard of this mentality until I got older. Like
Yeah.
I was taught if you work hard, you're gonna get what you work for.
You work hard and
that's
get it.
Yeah.
You work hard and you get it. That's
Exactly.
what it is.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know. It was a guy from Virginia. He actually was just on Tucker Carlson show. He said it was the triangle effect. He has a book. He said he was named top 61 in the world or something like that. He said it was the preacher, the politician, back then. And I forgot the last one. And I was like, yeah, that's definitely what it is, because that feeds to the parents and that comes back to the kid.
Yeah.
Now he thinks he's a victim.
Yeah.
But my question is, man, we react to a lot of political content, and I just can't get over people saying that Republicans are spitting Nazi rhetoric. I just can't get over that. Where is that coming from? That is insane.
Because, look, man, in politics, the truth is everything is fair game in politics. Your opponent is going to talk about you in the nastiest way possible, because at the end of the day, all they want to do is win that seat. They want to have majorities. They want to push their agenda. So the thing that's been disgusting in America is to the lengths people go. Wesley and I, with President Trump, obviously, we talk about America First policies. Mm-hmm. So the media will say, well, that's much more of a nationally focused policy. So are you a nationalist? And then they do the stupid thing. They translate, oh, so if you're a nationalist, does that mean that you agreed with the Third Reich? Nah, bro, that's stupid. I'm not trying to persecute anybody. I'm not trying to eviscerate anybody from the face of the earth. But what I will say is, what I want out of my government and what I want out of our leaders is to make sure you take care of first things first. And that's taking care of stuff at home before you start thinking about somebody else. My mom always told me, you better take care of your business first before you worry about anybody else's.
Put your mask on
If
first.
that's how you raise kids, that's how you do stuff in your home. Isn't that how we should do things for a country?
Agreed.
But these people, they will lie, they will gaslight, they will twist words, they will listen, right? This whole thing, you brought it up. I'm not even going to say the word because it's like saying Beetlejuice for me right now. But what I'm going to tell you is, you got people right now who will say, oh, well, you said this. They will argue for what you didn't say to try to cause divisions amongst people.
Yeah.
That's how diabolical these people are, which is why it requires the public to be educated and locked in on their politics. Because Plato said it. This ain't even America. Plato said, a people who are not educated in their politics will be ruled by their inferiors. If you're not educated in your politics, you're going to have some dumb people running the country. And then scratch your head being like, why are things so bad?
That's insane.
Yeah,
Saying that Trump is Adolf Hitler?
They'll do whatever. And they twist what you're talking about, the situation with you, they twisted your words so bad, because we did a video on that. And it was clear the point you were making with the marriage thing. Like,
that was the point we were making.
Black people
That
should
was
be
crazy.
married more now than when we were oppressed.
Nobody's-
How is it less? That doesn't make sense. It's a culture problem.
Yeah.
It's not the white man holding us down.
It's not that
was the
Jim
point.
Crow was good back then.
Exactly.
No,
It's
that's
like
not
we were
what
able
we're
to
saying.
overcome that
That's not what
then,
we're saying.
but now
we had a
it's-
family unit back then.
Exactly.
And how can we get back to that piece of it?
Exactly.
Not go back, not get my time
It was,
machine,
it
and
was
go
so
back
easy
to Jim Crow.
understand. I thought like it was too
Man,
much
that's Al
to me.
Sharpton, though.
Yeah,
he just did a
no.
video on him.
That actually, I was watching it. I was getting upset
Yeah, he was
watching
very
that.
mad.
I
He
was
was really
genuinely
mad. He was.
upset
He got a
because I'm
problem.
like, he's trying to twist bro words.
Actually, he just came out. I don't know if it was on CNN. It was somewhere. Him talking about Trump being racist. We literally paused the reaction, and I said each thing he was gonna say before he said it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, okay, I got one last question. We're all here, and we're all conservatives, right-leaning people, black men at that. How did the Democratic Party get such a grip on black people? Because it's like, before I was into politics at all, I just thought I should be a Democrat because I'm trying to help black people.
That's right.
And then once I started like thinking for myself, I was like, hold on, this ain't helping black people.
Brainwashed.
This is hurting black people. So how did they come to that conclusion?
He answered your own question. When you are taught or you are told something, we were talking about mediocrity earlier. If you are told that you're thirsty over and over again, you're going to start thinking you're thirsty. So imagine being a child and you're being told as a black person, this is what you do.
Yeah.
It's ingrained in you over time. Eventually, you stop thinking about it. Well, I'm supposed to do this because I'm supposed to do this. Until things get so bad, you have to ask yourself a question. Well, why am I doing this? I don't get it. I have a quick story for you. There was a mother that every year she would cook a Thanksgiving ham. And every year she would cut the ends off the ham and put it in the pot. Every year. Didn't have to. Just cut the ends off the ham and put it in the pot. Yeah. And eventually her husband walked through and she goes, honey, why do you cut the ends off the ham to put in the pot? He goes, well, my mom did it. Yeah. So they got mom on the phone. They got grandma on the phone. Grandma, why did you cut the ends off the ham to put in the pot? Because the pot was too small. Mm-hmm. I had to cut the ends off so it would fit in the pot. But your pot is big enough to fit the whole thing in. And she never thought to ask the question, why? Mm-hmm. Think about that.
Yeah.
This is exactly what we're dealing with right now. So we are here in Atlanta right now to break that mold.
Yeah.
We want people to ask the question, why?
Yeah.
Don't cut the ends off the ham. You got extra meat. The pot's big enough. Put the whole damn thing in the pan. It's all good. So how do we then take this message back to the community and say, look, things are not like they were. The pie is big enough. There's enough room for everybody. This ain't Jim Crow anymore. Nobody's telling you you can't be anybody anymore. That's what we are trying to do. But that's why that's the case. We have to break that cycle.
That was extremely well said.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Well,
thank you guys so much for your time. This is
awesome.
very encourage This is great. We
Of
appreciate
course.
you guys so
Appreciate
much.
Thank you for having
Look
me.
up to
Thank
you
you.
guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate
hopefully in
it.
y'all
Yeah.
position one day.
Anytime.
Yeah, one day we'll try
anytime.
to get like y'all for real.
Hey,
Thank you guys so
that's the
much.
point. We ain't gonna be here forever.
Yeah.
Send me off. I got to go make money with Wesley. Send me off.
All right. Thank you guys so much.